But just south and east of the Mediterranean Sea, the Islamic world was in its golden age. Between about 750 and 1250 CE, the Islamic Empire made incredible advances in science, and many of these discoveries have shaped our modern world, giving us things like cataract surgery and algebra. But there's also another major lesson that came out of this period. Diversity makes for better science. At this time, the Islamic Empire stretched all the way from the Arabian Peninsula east into China, as well as west across North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula. And there was a lot about this empire that set it up for this golden age of science. Like in the early years of Islam, the mission to understand the world was a religious one and a scientific one. There was no difference. So Muslim scholars translated hundreds of thousands of manuscripts from Greek, Roman, Persian, Indian, and Egyptian scientists into Arabic, so they had the combined knowledge of all these civilizations as a base. But it wasn't just the knowledge that was diverse. It was a massive empire, and it included Persians, North Africans, Spaniards, Portuguese, Chinese, and Arabs. And across the region, all of these people with different backgrounds were sharing, translating, and exchanging ideas. One of the most famous scientists from this period is the Persian scholar known as the father of algebra, Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. Al-Khwarizmi worked in a library in Baghdad called the House of Wisdom, where academics from all different backgrounds came together to work side by side. They included some of the most famous scientists of the time, and they worked on all types of science. But while his colleagues pored over ancient texts, studied the stars, and invented medical treatments, Al-Khwarizmi wrestled with math. And one of the problems he took on was the quadratic equation. People had been working on this equation for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians, Chinese, Babylonians, and Greeks all recognized that if you have an area enclosed by a square, the amount of stuff you can put in that area is related to the length of one side. In other words, the length squared was related to area. And anytime you have an equation with a certain value and the square of that value, it's called a quadratic equation. These equations could be important for practical reasons, like say you want to build a shed and it needs to have a certain capacity. It would be useful to know exactly how long to make the sides so you don't overshoot or undershoot. Various civilizations managed to solve certain specific problems like this in one way or another, so they might have been able to figure out how long to make one particular shed, but they didn't have expressions that would let them relate something like length with area in a general way. Al-Khwarizmi was the first to do that. Instead of solving problems with specific numbers, he used variables as placeholders. It's not clear where he got that idea, but it made it possible for him to grasp the universal form of the problem and come up with a universal procedure for solving it.